Hey, what's going on, guys? Gamerdude back once again with another episode in our Just the Facts series. So, first of all, as always, I want to open this episode, first of all, by saying to my entire community, I hope you're all well and keeping safe. You know, even though the governments of the world are easing lockdowns and whatnot, we're all still in this together, and we all must adhere to the guidelines, or the virus just isn't going to be going away anytime soon. I would also like to drop my deepest condolences to anybody who may have lost a loved one due to the C virus. I mean, like I've said numerous times, I know what you guys must be going through. I mean, my gran came down with it. We all feared the worst. You know, we were clenching that phone, just waiting for the inevitability that she'd passed away. But, you know, thankfully we got the call that she was fine, she was recovering. She's back home, she's healthy, she's happy, she's just happy to be going back to bingo. But yeah, I know what you guys are going through. So anyway, as you guys may or may not know, it was Batman Arkham Knight's 5th birthday last week, and Rocksteady took the opportunity to finally decide to break their silence regarding the next big project in the DC animated gameverse. Rocksteady went rather quiet after Arkham Knight dropped in 2015, it's no secret. But to their credit, they have tried to produce new projects over those 5 years. However, each and every one of those projects was canned and shut down due to budget or time constraints, or they just weren't productive to the studio. These projects range from a Superman game based in the Arkham universe, which was rumoured to feature the Joker attacking the Daily Planet, so I can only assume that goes off the Kingdom Come storyline. There was a Batman Damian Wayne game, which was ultimately cancelled before it made it to the planning board. There was also a Batman Court of Owls game, which was another that fans wanted to see, yet ultimately it was also canned. So now the fact they have actually broken the silence and confirmed that a Suicide Squad game is indeed in the works, considering this was also another project cancelled after the Suicide Squad movie failed to produce, is surprising to say the least, because there's also rumours floating around that a new Batman game is also coming called Batman Gotham Knights. Now, whether this would take place in the original Arkhamverse is unclear, but it's still something to go on, you know, it's something to take with a pinch of salt. But anyway, let's move on to the actual Suicide Squad game. Superhero genre games are seriously moving ahead with the times. Each one released now appears to have the whole Arkham-esque fighting style. I mean, just look at Spider-Man PS4. I definitely felt like I was playing Batman in some aspects through the combat of that game. My point is, you can definitely see them moving forward in terms of gameplay and combat. A fine example is the upcoming Marvel's Avengers, which I have of course pre-ordered. But you can definitely see that the combat has taken a whole new... Well, it's been taken in a whole new direction, you know, they've gone a whole new way with the style of combat. But it's still, in some cases, you can still feel that sort of Arkham-esque vibe to it, especially when you're playing as Captain America or Black Widow. Anyway, a rather interesting list of leaked domain names has set internet keyboard warriors wagging their tails that Rocksteady, developer of Batman Arkham Asylum, Arkham City and Arkham Knight, is working on a game centered on the famous Suicide Squad. The domain names popped up a couple of days ago on Restera, where fans noted that they were registered by a company connected to Warner Brothers. The division known as Eurogamer understands this to be accurate. So, of course, me and my investigative journalistic gaming have been looking into this myself to see if there was any truth to it. And I've heard that one particular phrase registered as a domain is, bear with me on this one, is Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League.com, which does appear to be a contender for the game's final title. And a good summation of what you can really expect Rocksteady's next project to be about. So, does this mean like Amanda Waller will show up and be like, "Oi, squad, you gotta kill the Justice League"? And you know, she's got like a list from the Batcave of Batman, because as we all know, he keeps detailed files on the entire league and how to defeat them in his mighty Bat computer. Or will it be set after Arkham Knight, with a distraught Harley still mourning for the Joker, putting together a team to take out the greatest heroes that are left because she blames Batman for Joker's death? I would prefer that scenario, but that's just the fanboy in me. You know, don't quote me on that one. That's just the fanboy in me. You know, time will tell. We'll have to wait until August, because yeah, I'll get into detail on that a little bit later as well. But yeah, the two particular domain names that were registered include, as I said, SuicideSquadGame.com and GothamKnightsGame.com. Now, these have since been deleted, but they were confirmed to be true because they are absolutely everywhere. I mean, you can go on YouTube and watch one of WhatCulture.com's latest videos, and they talk about this as well. So when WhatCulture.com talk about it, you know it's probably legit. Now, Gotham Knights refers to the unannounced Batman game, which I can confirm is currently in development at Batman Arkham Origins Studio, Warner Brothers Montreal, not Rocksteady Studios. So this game will probably follow the events from Origins, creating essentially a brand new franchise until it catches up with the events of Arkham Asylum. So we can probably expect maybe 3 or 4 games before they catch up with the events of Arkham Asylum. Because, you know, we've still got to build on the character development of Robin and Batgirl and Dick Grayson, etc., etc. But unfortunately, it would seem they are quite a ways off, and we can expect to see them in late 2022 on next-gen systems only. But anyway, here's the gist of what's going on. According to Mr. Tom Phillips at Eurogamer, who corroborates this, there are 2 different DC games coming. The first is Batman Gotham Knight, which we have seen already in the Court of Owls leaks over the years. You know, that there have been many teasers for this over the years that went online a while ago, which, you know, that it was also rumoured that it was being made by Warner Brothers Montreal, but as I mentioned earlier, the Court of Owls game was cancelled. So whether or not they're just taking scenes from that game, from, you know, script writing that they already had for it, I don't know. You know, they could incorporate some of what they already had into this new game, but, you know, only time will tell. We'll find out later. The second is Rocksteady's Suicide Squad game. So, WB Montreal are doing Batman, and Rocksteady are doing Suicide Squad. You would think that would be the other way around, because Rocksteady did a fantastic job with the Arkhamverse. And if I'm being completely honest, I didn't really like Arkham Origins. I mean, yes, the story was brilliant, but I didn't really like it. You know, it felt weird, especially without Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill reprising their roles as Batman and the Joker. I mean, I get they wanted to go like in a new direction because, you know, the Bat was younger and they needed him to sound younger, and so was the Joker, but it still didn't feel right without those 2 iconic voices. It just didn't feel like a Batman game. It felt, I don't know how to describe it. It felt like one of those super action games with constant fighting and guns. You know what I'm talking about. But anyway, it may literally be called Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, but no further details have been given about it. But this could be some sort of alternate universe DC thing. You know, the multiverse is a big DC thing, where the Suicide Squad actually goes around murdering the biggest members of the Justice League. And, you know, you have in-game bosses like Superman, Wonder Woman, and Batman, instead of your usual collection of rogues like Joker, Riddler, and Harley. And that would be really cool. Or what would be really cool is if they do an alternate universe where the Justice League are actually the Suicide Squad. You know, what if Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League is a metaphor for the Justice League becoming the Suicide Squad? You know, what if they're brainwashed by Amanda Waller and they become the Suicide Squad? I don't know. That's just the inner fanboy inside me. But moving on. Suicide Squad, let's say, has a complicated history at DC right now. The movie was one of the worst reviewed in the DC EU. And its not so brilliant sequel, Harley Quinn's Birds of Prey, also did very poorly at the box office as well. And they even had to rename that because people didn't know what it was. You know, I think originally it was just called Birds of Prey, and people didn't know what it was, so they had to rename it Harley Quinn's Birds of Prey, so people actually knew what it was about. Anyway, however, the animated series, as opposed to everything else Suicide Squad, are actually pretty well received, especially the one that ties in directly with Batman Arkham Asylum. I think it was Suicide Squad Assault on Arkham. But maybe Suicide Squad can still find its redemption in game form. To reiterate, for those who don't pay attention to the whole DC universe stuff, Suicide Squad is a group of captured villains who are forced to do the government's bidding lest a bomb blow up their heads. Which is pretty dark, but totally awesome. You know, I mean, why don't we do that to our criminals? yeah, that's pretty dark, but still, it'd be cool. Anyway, the most prominent members of the team we've seen on screen already would be the famous Deadshot and Harley Quinn. And given Harley's popularity and past appearances in the Arkham games, I mean, you even got to play as her in Arkham City, so that's the thing. I would not be surprised if she makes a star return to this game. Elsewhere, there have been minor characters in the squad over the years, which include Captain Boomerang, Dr. Light, Enchantress, Bronze Tiger, Killer Frost, Grodd, Captain Cold, and many, many more. But at other times, major DC villains have joined up, albeit briefly, but these villains include, the Joker and Poison Ivy. But in short, DC could probably throw any villain they wanted into the mix here, and it would be an acceptable point of casting, given how the Suicide Squad operates, because it's never been done. You know, they haven't done anything like this before. Nothing's been done like this before. So, you know, usually we get all these superhero games and everybody's happy to fight the villains, but we've never had a villainous game. Well, unless you count Injustice, but still, that was still superheroes. This is a proper villainous game. You'll be playing as the villains throughout the whole game. And that's something we just don't see, you know. Everybody loves the superheroes, but what about the villains? You know, people do like to play as the villains. I mean, take Ultimate Spider-Man back on the PS2. I loved playing as Venom in that. It was so awesome to just destroy stuff and weirdly suck people into your chest and drain their life energy. but still, you get where I'm coming from. Sometimes it is fun to play the villain. And, you know, if that happens in this game, then fair play to them. You know, I'll be all for it. But the whole kill the Justice League part of this has certainly piqued my curiosity. And as I hope it's as insane as it sounds, but can you imagine the rogues storming the Watchtower or the Hall of Justice, just taking out all the heavy hitters? You know, that'd be so dope. Well, reportedly, as I said earlier, we will have to wait a long time for this. You know, but the Gotham Knight game is further along in development than initially thought, and it will get here first. So that's something to look forward to. So maybe the Gotham Knights game will arrive in February, March time of 2022. Maybe December of 2022. Don't know. Might arrive in time for Christmas. Might not. We just don't know yet. But we should see both of these games debut to some degree at DC's fandom event in August of this year. And I've got to say, the excitement is certainly getting to me. I mean, due to this pandemic, we've missed a lot of gaming events this year. You know, E3, there's the Gamescom, there's San Diego Comic Con, which usually reveals a lot as well. We've missed a hell of a lot, and you know, with things starting to return to normal, well, normally-ish, we can expect to see some of this, you know, come back up out of the woodwork, and all of these developers will be ready to announce these games. Because, you know, if they'd have announced them too early, people would have got so hyped for it, and they probably wouldn't have been ready, you know. The developers would have probably announced them way before they were ready to be announced. So maybe the postponement of all these events is a good thing. We don't know. We don't know. But as I say, we can definitely expect to hear something in August from fandom, which is really cool. But I'm a huge Batman fan. Batman is probably my favourite character in the entire DC universe. And I have been waiting so damn long for a new game, as opposed to them milking the crap out of the current Arkham games for all they're worth by just constantly remastering them. But anyway, let me know down in the comments what you guys think. Do you think we can expect to see them sooner rather than later? Do you think because they're going to announce them in August, they may do it cross-gen? You know, they might do one for the PS4 and the PS5. Or do you think, like I said, we'll have to wait until 2022? I'll leave that down to you, the viewers. But it's definitely something to look forward to. Take it with a pinch of salt. This is properly confirmed, and this is Rocksteady's first proper announcement in 5 years regarding a new game. So, you know, it's definitely got the hype. You know, it's got me hyped. I'm actually quite excited. There's a lot to expect. You know, there's a lot coming. And I mean, even though the next gen systems are gracing us with their presence this year, it's not to say that we won't see some of these iconic games, well, iconic new games that is, come onto the PS4, albeit downscaled, and then go onto the PS5 upscaled, because they did the same on the PS2. You know, there was Spider-Man 3 on the PS2, the Raimi game. That was on the PS2. It was quite terrible on the PS2, to be honest. But it also came out on the PS3, and it was so much better. It was visually enhanced. It was more open world. There was more missions. There was more to do. There was more boss fights. Even Kingpin was in it. And in the PS2 version, it wasn't Kingpin. It was Morbius. So there was that distinguishing part to it, if that makes sense. You know, so they could do that with the PS4 and the PS5. You know, just replace a boss here or there, take a scene out here or there. Anyway, it would be so cool if we could see some of the next gen games come on to the PS4 just downscaled, because I really want to play that new Spider-Man game as well. But yeah, anyway, that's it for this episode. I hope you all enjoyed it, and I hope I've expanded your gaming knowledge and given you an inside look into the mind of the Bat. So, shout out to all subscribers, old and new, 1,100 subscribers. Wow, I really can't thank you all enough for the continuous support and views of my content. I will, of course, continue to bring you the best content I can. If you are new to the channel and enjoyed this video or any of my other content, make sure you smash that like button and drop me a subscribe. I always sub back to new subscribers. All of my videos are also in playlists for your convenience. So that being said, this has been Just the Facts with yours truly. Happy gaming, and I will catch you all in the next one, guys.